Hi everyone, welcome. It's me, Lori from Inner Goddess Tarot. So today I'd like to talk a little bit about tarot cards that you just don't like. So I'm not talking about the style or, not resonating with a particular deck. I mean the card itself, that there's some cards that come up where we just do not resonate with them, and we can't exactly say why, but we just don't like them. So our initial reaction when they come up in a reading is like, oh, I'm not happy to see that face or that scene or whatever. So like I say, I'm not talking about cards where it's immediately obvious why you wouldn't like the card. Like for example, this card, the Nine of Swords. Yeah, I mean, I could understand why somebody would see that and go, oh, I'm not thrilled to see it, right? It's an evocative, kind of dramatic, and maybe you could say unpleasant image, right, of somebody in distress. So I could see why you would have a reaction to that. But what about cards where you're just like, I don't know why, I just do not like that, right? And I'm not interested in getting to know it or why, right? So for me, there aren't many cards in the deck that I have that kind of reaction to, like that sort of dislike, but I'm not 100% sure why. But one card that I find particularly challenging is the Emperor. So there are some kind of obvious reasons why, because I look at that face, that stern old man face there, and I see patriarchy. I see somebody trying to tell me what to do, and somebody that you probably couldn't have a really uplifting conversation with. But that's just me, right? Because there are wonderful aspects to this card, right? Like the Emperor is solidity, foundation, somebody who's built their empire and they want to sustain it and protect it. So somebody probably who wants to protect the people in their life and to care for the people in their life, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of really positive stuff here, obviously, with the Emperor. But I just look at that face and kind of shut down, unless I make an effort to not do that. So what can you do in a situation like this where you have that kind of reaction to the card? Because of course it's a personal reaction, right? So you don't necessarily want to bring that into the reading. When you're reading for yourself, yes, honor that response. That Emperor means that for you, or whichever card it is that you don't like. When you're reading for yourself, you can honor that personal meaning and recognize it and work with it, right? But what if you're reading for someone else? You don't want to bring in your personal opinions necessarily, right? You want to interpret the card in the best way that you can, using the knowledge that you have of the card and your own intuition, but not your own life history necessarily. Yeah, I'm hesitating here because, of course, we bring in our own wisdom and life experience when we're doing a tarot reading, but we're keeping our opinion out of it, our judgment out of it. So you don't want to let those kind of things sneak into the reading when it's a card that you just do not resonate with or don't like, right? So I challenge you, if there are particular cards that you have this kind of, feeling about, that you just don't like it, work with it. Try to get to know it. Try to make friends with it if you can. If you can't, at least understand it and understand your own reaction to it, where that might be coming from, because that can be illuminating for us as well, right? So when working with the card, I mean, you can work with the card itself. So do perhaps meditation exercises like Mary Kay Greer's wonderful Enter the Card meditation. Go into that card. Imagine, you're stepping in there and you're having a conversation with the figure in the card, or you're interacting with the people or the animals or the creatures or whatever is in the card. You're interacting with them and see what comes out. Perhaps for me, the Emperor has a message that I haven't heard yet that will help me kind of warm up to him a little bit. Another thing you could do is look at different versions of the card in different decks. And I didn't grab any right now, but some other decks, this card that you don't like may be depicted in a different way. and it may give you a different insight into it or help you like it, or at least get to know it a little bit better. So seek out that same card that you want to get to know in different decks and see what, if the different imagery or art style of art resonates with you in a different way. And of course, as always, we can ask our cards for help, right? So I've got the Emperor here. I want to ask my deck, ask my cards, what is the lesson I need to learn from this card? Why does it bother me? What is it about it that's sort of, Lori, listen to me. I keep coming up for you even though I don't like you. Or you, oh, I mean, you don't like me. Anyway, so let's see. If I pull, I'm going to just quietly ask my own deck, what can you tell me about the Emperor card? What is a lesson that's there for me? Or give me some insight into why I find it to be a challenging card. Okay, let's see. And of course you can pull just one card like I'm going to do now, or you could do a whole spread for yourself, right? Explaining all the different facets, why my personal reaction to it, what is the lesson to be learned. Think about any other course. How can I get to know this card more deeply? What can I like in this card? What am I not seeing? Anyway, but I'm just going to keep it open now and pull one card, see what comes up. Okay. Okay, interesting. So, anyway, you can tell me what you think too, please, in the comments if you have another interpretation that you can help me out with. Because I pulled the Strength card, which is interesting, another major arcana. But here we have a very strong and serene female figure. And she resonates with me 100%. I love this card and I love her. So who is that lion that she's wrestling? Maybe that's my Emperor in this case. So there could be something going on there where, like I say, the whole thing of I look at that Emperor and I feel like he wants to tell me what to do or restrict my freedom in some way, right? So maybe the lesson from the Strength card here is to see that Emperor like this lion, so noble and strong and, with good intentions, but something that I can manage with my own strength and compassion, right? So I guess counteracting what I see is a very patriarchal, masculine card, with the more feminine side that I see in this Strength card. So that compassion and patience and diplomacy rather than aggression, but still being able to manage and stay on top of the situation. So that's something, I'm going to think further about that, because now when I'm looking at this card, I always love this lion, but now I'm seeing it, hey, maybe that lion is my Emperor. And I just have to learn how to manage it, right? The Emperor is a structure often, right? It's things like, a boss. It can be government institution or something, where you have to follow the rules, right? So maybe for me, it's learning how to follow the structure and the rules that I see in the Emperor, but how to navigate that smoothly, how to still get to where I want to be in an authentic way and working within that structure that we're all subject to. Interesting. So I'm going to think about that a little bit longer. And please, as I say, if you have any thoughts about why that Strength card came up for me, then please comment and let me know what you think, what your insights into that are. So thanks for listening. As always, please visit my website at innergoddesstarot.com for free tarot lessons, blog posts, book reviews, lots of good tarot stuff there for you, as well as the opportunity to book a reading with me in person, by Skype, or by email. Thanks. Have a great day.